Title: What if Oando, Nigeria was your first customer? The secret playbook for finding people who will actually pay. Imagine this. You have built the perfect product. It solves a real problem. You have spent months, maybe years, perfecting it. You launch, and nobody buys. Not because it is bad, but because you sold fuel to a man who rides a bicycle. That is the difference between guessing who your customer is and knowing. Oando, Nigeria does not guess. As one of Africa's largest indigenous energy companies, selling everything from petrol and diesel to lubricants, gas, and renewable solutions, Oando has mastered a brutal truth. If you do not identify the right customer first, testing your product is just expensive theater. This is not just about oil. It is about how you, whether you are an entrepreneur with zero capital, unemployed but full of ideas, or stuck in a job that drains you, can steal the exact mindset Oando uses to find people who will pay before you waste time building. Welcome to part 1 of a 3-part story. But by the end of this series, you will have a battle-tested way to identify your potential customer, test your idea without burning cash, and avoid the 3 deadly mistakes that bury most new products. Let us start where Oando starts, with the customer who exists before the product does. Part 1. See the customer before you see the product. Most people build first and hunt for customers later. Oando, Nigeria flips that. They find the hunger before they cook the meal. Why? Because in Nigeria's energy market, one wrong assumption about who needs diesel versus who wants solar can cost billions. You do not have billions to lose. So let us break down how they think and how you can copy it. Principle 1. Start with the pain, not the product. Oando does not wake up and say, "Let us make a new lubricant." They start with questions like, who is losing money right now because their generator keeps breaking down? Which transport company cannot run at night because diesel supply is unreliable? How Oando does it? Oando's retail and industrial teams spend time in truck parks, at independent power plants, and with small-scale manufacturers. They document what keeps those people awake. For Oando, the pain might be, my fleet spends 4 hours a day queuing for diesel, or adulterated kerosene is ruining my customers' stoves. The product, Oando's premium diesel delivery, or Oando-branded kerosene, is just the painkiller. How you can copy it? If you are unemployed and want to sell packaged food, do not start with, I make great puff puff. Start with, who is too busy to cook breakfast, but hates skipping meals? Go to bus parks at 6 in the morning. Talk to nurses on night shift. Pain first, product second. Compared to other companies, many startups in Nigeria launch me to fintech apps because fintech is hot. They build the app, then struggle to find users. Oando would never refine a new grade of engine oil unless mechanics were already complaining that current oils sludge too fast in Lagos heat. One tests the pain, the other tests the product. Guess which one bleeds cash? Principle 2. Segment by behavior, not just demographics. timeHere 5 and 40. Behavior says, Danfo drivers who buy 5 liters of petrol twice daily and will switch brands for a shorter queue. How Oando does it? Oando does not just see car owners. They see the Lagos Uber driver who fuels at midnight to avoid queues, the manufacturing plant that buys diesel in 10,000-liter batches monthly, the rural household that buys kerosene in small bottles every 2 days. Each group behaves differently, buys differently, and trusts differently. Oando builds different offers for each. 24-hour stations for drivers, bulk delivery contracts for factories, and small SKUs for rural homes. How you can copy it? If you are ideating a cleaning service, do not target working women. Target bankers in Victoria Island who leave home at 5 a.m. and get home at 9 p.m. and feel guilty about weekend chores. That behavior tells you when to message them, how to price, and what proof they need. Compared to other companies, a failed solar startup once told everyone, every Nigerian needs power. True, but useless. Oando knows the barber with 3 clippers has different energy behavior than the cold room owner. The startup sold one-size-fits-all panels. Oando sells pay-as-you-go gas cylinders to one group and hybrid solar for the other. Specificity wins. Principle 3. Follow the money trail to find real demand. Interest is not demand. Demand is when someone has already set money aside for a problem. How Oando does it. Before Oando rolls out a new LPG initiative, they check. Are people already buying gas from unsafe roadside vendors? If yes, money is already moving. Oando's job is to redirect that flow with safer, branded cylinders. They do not need to educate the market from zero. They upgrade an existing spend. How you can copy it. Want to teach digital skills to unemployed youth? Do not ask, would you like to learn coding? Ask, are you already paying for data to watch YouTube tutorials on your phone? If yes, there is a money trail. Your job is to package a better result for that same spend. Compared to other companies, a lot of agri-tech firms built platforms to connect farmers to buyers, without realizing farmers were already selling to middlemen who gave them cash up front. The middlemen owned the money trail. The startups ignored it and died. Oando, when entering aviation fuel, first mapped who already buys jet A1, how, and from where, and they inserted themselves into that flow. Principle 4. Use mini-tests before mega launches. Oando does not bet the whole refinery on an untested idea. They run pilots that are small, measurable, and embarrassing if they fail. How Oando does it. When Oando wanted to push its oleum lubricant brand harder, it did not do a nationwide TV blast first. It selected 10 busy mechanic villages in Lagos and Ibadan. They gave free samples, trained the mechanics, and tracked repeat purchases for 8 weeks. Only after seeing mechanics defend oleum to customers did they scale. How you can copy it. If you are ideating a new snack, do not rent a factory, make 50 packs. Stand at one university gate for 3 hours. Track. How many people stop? How many buy again tomorrow? That is your mini-test. Your ego can survive 50 unsold packs. It cannot survive 5,000. Compared to other companies, a Nigerian e-commerce brand once imported to containers of a new gadget before testing. They are still running promote 3 years later. Oando's rule. If the idea cannot win in one street, it will not win in 36 states. Principle 5. Let your customer design the test. The worst tests are the ones you design alone. The best tests are co-created with the person who will use the product. How Oando does it for Oando Gas and Power. When they design solutions for estates, they do not assume pipe pressure needs. They bring estate facility managers into the design session. The managers say, if you can guarantee we will not run out during Christmas, we will sign. That becomes the test metric. Not technical uptime, but Christmas test passed. How you can copy it. If you are underemployed and building a 105 writing service, do not decide success is nice design. Ask 10 job seekers. What would make you tell your friend this was worth paying for? They say, if I get at least 2 interview invites in 2 weeks, then that is your test. Designed for their scoreboard, not yours. Compared to other companies, tech companies often test for app opens, while users care about, did this save me time? Oando tests for, did the truck leave the depot faster? Same energy, different scoreboard. Why this matters. If you are just starting, you might think, but I am not Oando. I do not have stations or trucks. True, but you have what Oando started with. The ability to watch, ask, and test small. Oando's advantage is not money. It is discipline to reject guesses. Every principle above costs you €0. Pain spotting is free. Watching behavior is free. Asking where money already flows is free. Mini tests can cost less than a day's transport. In part 2, we will break down the next 3 principles Oando uses. How they price for trust, how they use enemies to clarify their customer, and how they kill their own ideas fast. We will also expose the 3 mistakes other companies make that keep them blind to real customers. Mistakes that have killed more Nigerian startups than lack of capital ever did. And in part 3, we will give you the full lessons learned checklist you can paste on your wall, plus a step-by-step worksheet to run your first Oando-style customer test this week. Before you go, if this way of thinking about customers feels different from what you have heard, that is because it is. Most business advice tells you to follow your passion. Oando's playbook tells you to follow the customer as frustration. One builds hobbies. The other builds companies. So here is my ask. If you are serious about ideating products that people actually want, subscribe to my YouTube channel right now. Next week, I am drawing part 2, with the exact questions Oando's team asks in the field, questions you can use tomorrow, even if all you have is a notebook and grit. Do not build in the dark. Learn to see the customer first. See you in part 2. Title: The Enemy Test. How Oando, Nigeria kills bad ideas. Fast and why your customers love it. What if the fastest way to find your real customer is to figure out who hates your product? Oando, Nigeria does not just ask, who will buy this? They also ask, who will fight this, ignore this, or feel insulted by this? That one question saves them millions. Most entrepreneurs do the opposite. They try to please everyone, test with friends who will not say no, and launch to silence. This is part 2 of our Oando case study. In part 1, we covered 5 principles. Start with pain, segment by behavior, follow the money trail, run mini tests, and let your customer design the test. Now we finish the EAT principles, expose the 3 brutal mistakes other companies make, and pull out lessons you can use, whether you are unemployed, underemployed, on Social Security, or building your first business. Let us get into it. Part 2. Price, enemies, and killing your own ideas. Before the market does principle. 6. Price is a filter, not just a number. Oando knows price tells you who your customer is not. If you price wrong, you will attract the wrong crowd and repel the right one. How Oando does it. When Oando introduced its LPG cylinder swap program, they did not make it the cheapest in the street. They priced it slightly above roadside refillers, but bundled safety checks, home delivery, and a brand guarantee. A price filtered for a specific customer. Households that feared gas explosions more than they loved a discount. For industrial diesel, Oando uses volume-based pricing with credit terms. That filters for factories that care about cash flow predictability, not just per liter cost. How you can copy it. If you are ideating a tutoring service while unemployed, do not just charge what people can afford. Test 2 prices on 2 groups. Group 1. Parents who say, I just want my child to pass. Group 2. Parents who say, I want my child to top the class and get a scholarship. Your price will tell you which group is real. If nobody pays the higher price, you do not have a premium customer yet. Adjust or reposition. Compared to other companies, many new food brands in Lagos compete on cheapest jollof rice. They attract customers who will leave for a 10 naira difference. Then they wonder why there is no loyalty. Oando Solium lubricant is not the cheapest. It is priced for mechanics who lose customers when an engine fails. That price buys trust, not just oil. Price filters for pain level. Principle 7. Use enemies to sharpen your customer profile. If everyone likes your idea, you do not have a customer. You have a complement. How Oando does it. When Oando pushes gas as a cleaner alternative to kerosene and firewood, they know their enemy is the entrenched kerosene dealer network and the cultural habit of the way we have always cooked. They do not avoid that tension. They design messaging, pricing, and tests directly against it. Their ideal customer profile includes households frustrated by kerosene smoke, who are open to change but scared of cylinder safety. The enemy clarifies the friend. How you can copy it? Building a resume service. Her enemy is free templates online. And, my uncle works in HR will help me. So your real customer is not everyone who needs a job. It is graduates who have used free templates for 6 months and still have 0 interviews. Name the enemy, and your customer appears. Compared to other companies, a failed ride-hailing app in Abuja said, "We are for everyone." Uber and Bolt knew their enemy was unreliable roadside taxis and price haggling. So their customer became people who hate to negotiate and want a car in 5 minutes. Oando does the same. Their renewable mini-grid team knows the enemy is, I better run my noisy gen and trust NEPEA or a new company. So they target estates where gen fumes have caused health complaints. Enemy first, customers second. Principle 8. Kill your own ideas fast, in public. Oando would rather shut down a pilot in week 3 than defend a flop in year 2. Speed of burial is a competitive advantage. How Oando does it. Oando has tested retail formats, app features, and lubricant blends that never saw national scale. When their data showed taxi drivers were not switching to a new loyalty card after 4 weeks, they did not add more ad budget. They killed it, debriefed the drivers, and moved the budget to a bulk SMS fuel reminder that did work. The key. They set kill metrics before they start. Example. Fresh and 15% of trial users buy a second time within 21 days, we stop. How you can copy it. If you are testing a new chin-chin recipe at your estate gate, decide up front. If I do not sell out 3 days in a row within 2 weeks, I change the recipe or stop. Write the rule down. Tell one friend. Killing it is not failure. Refusing to kill it is. Compared to other companies, many SMEs in Nigeria suffer from sunk cost romance. They keep pushing a product because we have already printed the flyers. Oando treats every test like a science experiment, not a marriage. The result? They fail cheap and learn fast. Others fail slow and go broke. Proud. 3 mistakes other companies make when identifying and testing for customers. Now that you have seen Oando's 8 principles, here is where most people blow it. Mistake 1. The hapte, stacked, family, and friends. Your mother will say, your Zobot tastes great. Your friend will download your app. Neither means a stranger will pay. Oando tests with people who have zero social incentive to lie. They test with a depot manager who will lose his job if diesel supply fails. That is real feedback. Lesson learned. If your tester cannot say no without feeling guilty, it is not a test. Find strangers who have the problem and a budget. Mistake 2. They confuse excitement with intent. At tech meetups, people clap for every pitch. Claps do not equal cash. Oando does not measure excitement. They measure pre-orders, signed MOUs, or I will switch next month if you guarantee X. One company launched a health drink because 500 people said, wow, at a trade fair. 0 pre-ordered. Oando would have put a table at the exit with pay today, get it next week, and counted wallets, not wow. Lesson learned. The only applause that matters is a payment or a signed commitment. Everything else is noise. Mistake 3. They scale before they understand. A logistics startup got seed funding and opened in 6 cities at once. They had not figured out why Lagos customers used them. Turned out it was only for airport runs. Other cities did not have that pattern. They collapsed. Oando, despite its size, still rolls out new gas plants one site at a time. They want to know, what exactly made Site 1 work before Site 2 gets built? Lesson learned, scale, amplifies. If you scale a bad guess, you just lose money faster. Win in one street, then one estate, then one city. Lessons learned. The Oando mindset. You can steal. Today, put these on your wall if you are an entrepreneur, job seeker, or figuring out your next move. 1. Pain pays better than passion. Oando chases headaches, not hobbies. Find where people are already losing time, money, or sleep. 2. Behavior beats demographics. Mothers in Cerulear is vague. Mothers in Cerulear who buy baby food at 8 p.m. after work and complain about traffic is a customer. 3. Money trails to not I. If nobody is spending on the problem today, you are not selling a solution. You are selling education. Education is expensive. 4. Small tests beat big budgets. Oando can afford big, but chooses small. You cannot afford big, so small is your superpower. 5. Your customer should grade you. Do not mark your own script. Let the market set the exam. 6. Price decides who shows up. Cheap attracts tasters. Premium attracts trusters. Pick your crowd. 7. Name your enemy. If you do not know what you are replacing, you do not know who you are serving. 8. Kill fast. Learn faster. A dead test with lessons is better than a living zombie product. Bringing it together. What this means for you. You do not need an oil license to think like Oando. You need their discipline. If you are unemployed, your first product is your time. Test it on the customer called a business drowning in admin work. If you are underemployed, your side hustle must pass the Would a Stranger prepay test. If you are on Social Security, your advantage is time to observe pain others ignore. Oando's edge is not rigs and pipelines. It is that they refuse to lie to themselves about who the customer is. You can refuse to, starting today. Coming in Part 3, we will give you a one-page and-style customer test sheet you can fill out in 30 minutes. We will also walk through real Nigerian examples outside oil, a fashion brand, a food seller, and a digital skill trainer, all using these 8 principles to find customers before they spent big. Before you go, if Part 1 and Part 2 shifted how you see customers, imagine what you will do with the worksheet in Part 3. Do not miss it. Subscribe to my YouTube channel now, so YouTube alerts you the moment it drops. Drop a comment. Which of the 3 mistakes have you made before? I read every one, and I will feature the best lessons in the next video. Stop guessing. Start testing. See you in Part 3. Title: Your one-page customer test sheet. How to think like Oando, Nigeria. Even if you have zero capital, what if the difference between your next idea failing and feeding your family was one sheet of paper? Oando, Nigeria does not roll out a new fuel station, gas plant, or lubricant because an executive had a vision. They roll it out because a single page of answers told them. This customer exists. They are bleeding. They already spend money here, and they will switch if we show up like this. This is Part 3. The final piece. In Part 1, you learned the first 5 principles. Start with pain, segment by behavior, follow the money trail, run many tests, and let your customer design the test. In Part 2, we finished with price as a filter, using enemies to clarify your customer, and killing ideas fast, plus the 3 deadly mistakes other companies make. Now we make it practical. You are getting a one-page Oando-style customer test sheet you can fill in 30 minutes. Then we will run 3 real Nigerian examples: outside oil, a fashion brand, a food seller, and a digital skill trainer. Same 8 principles, different industries. If they can do it, you can too. Let us close the loop. Part 3, the one-page test that replaces guesswork. Oando's teams do not write 50-page business plans before they know the customer. They write one page that answers 8 questions. If the page looks weak, the idea goes back to the lab. If it looks strong, they fund a mini-test. Here is your version. Copy this into a notebook. Answer it before you spend any serious money or time. The Oando-style customer test sheet. 1. Whose pain are we solving today? Describe one specific person, not the market. Example: a single mom in Kubwa who leaves for work at 5:30 am needs her kids fed before school. Pain beats passion. 2. What behavior proves this pain is real? What do they already do because of this pain? Example: she buys akara and bread every morning and complains it is oily. If there is no current behavior, there is no current pain. 3. Where is the money already flowing? Who do they pay right now to reduce this pain, even badly? Example: she spends 200 naira daily at the roadside akara woman. You are not creating spend. You are redirecting it. 4. What is the mini-test? We can run in 7 days. Small, fast, measurable. Example: make 20 healthy oatmeal packs. Stand at the junction she passes at 6 am for 3 mornings. Track how many buy and how many ask for it again. 5. What scoreboard does the customer care about? Do not use your metric. Use theirs. Example: she says success is if her kids do not come home with stomachache and she saves 10 minutes. That is your pass or fail. 6. What price filters for the right customer? If you price too low, you get tasters. Too high, you get nobody. Example: 250 naira. Higher than akara, but she says she would pay if it is clean and saves time. 7. Who is the enemy be replace? Name it. Example: unpredictable roadside food and the guilt she feels. Your marketing, product, and test all aim at that enemy. 8. What is our kill rule? Decide before you start. Example: if less than 6 mums bought twice in the 7-day test, we stop or change the recipe. Kill fast, learn faster. If you cannot answer all 8, you are not ready to build. You are ready to research. That is what Oando does. 3 Nigerian examples, using all 8 principles, no oil involved. Let us see the sheet in action. None of these people had an Oando budget. They had Oando discipline. Example 1. The fashion brand that sold out before sewing a young woman in Baba wanted to start a workwear brand for female bankers. Pain. Female bankers told her, "I am tired of buying suits that do not fit my shape and tailors waste my time." Behavior. They were already buying ready-made from Instagram vendors and returning half. Money trail. Each banker spent 15 to 20,000 naira every 2 months on outfits that disappointed. Mini test. She sketched 3 designs, made only size samples, and did a fabric and fit session at one bank branch after work. No sewing yet. Bankers paid at 3,000 naira deposit to lock their size. Scoreboard. Customers said, "If it fits without adjustment and arrives in 10 days, I will order again." Price filter. She priced at 18,000 naira. Higher than thrift, lower than custom. It featured for bankers who valued time over bargains. Enemy. Unreliable tailors and ill-fitting Instagram buys. Her whole pitch was, no more adjustments. Kill rule. If less than 10 deposits in one bank branch, I redesign. She got 17. Only then did she sew. Lesson. She did not buy a shop. She bought proof. Oando tests with depot managers. She tested with bankers. Same energy. Example 2. The food seller who beat Mama Put, an unemployed graduate in Albadan, wanted to sell healthy lunch packs. Pain. Tech guys in a co-work hub said, "Mama Put Zoily. I feel sleepy by 3 p.m. Behavior. They still bought it because it was close and cheap. Money trail. They spent 500 naira daily, Monday to Friday. Mini test. For 1 week, he cooked 10 packs of grilled chicken and quinoa. Pre-order only via WhatsApp. No walk-ins. Scoreboard. Customers said, "If I do not feel sleepy and you deliver by 1 p.m., I will subscribe weekly." Price filter. He priced at 800 naira. It filtered out, "I just want to fill my belly," and kept, "I need to stay sharp" for code. Enemy. Heavy food and afternoon crash. His label literally said, "No food comma." Kill rule. If less than 7 of the 10 people reorder for week 2, I stop. 9 reordered. He scaled to 30 packs. Lesson. Oando does not fight price with price. They fight with a different pain. He did not sell food. He sold afternoon energy. Example 3. The digital skill trainer. With no laptop, a guy on Social Security in Benin City wanted to teach Canva design, but had no laptop to run ads. Pain. JSS students and fresh graduates kept asking, "How do I make a flyer for my church or small business?" Behavior. They were watching free YouTube videos, but getting stuck and giving up. Money trail. They were already buying data bundles to watch those videos and paying cyber cafe fees to practice. Mini test. He borrowed a phone, ran a free 15-minute demo at a church youth meeting, and offered a 2-week paid WhatsApp class for 1,000 naira. Scoreboard. Students said, "If I can design my own flyer by day 10, I will bring my sister." Price filter. 1,000 naira filtered for, "I am serious enough to pay something, but low enough for students." Enemy. Confusing YouTube, and no one to ask questions. His promise. Ask me nuts me meaty, and our slap. Kill rule. If less than 12 students pay after the free demo, I tweak the offer. 21 paid. Lesson. Oando finds people already burning diesel, then offers cleaner delivery. He found people already burning data, then offered guided results. Final lessons learned. The Oando mindset in one breath, across all 3 parts. Here is what separates Oando's approach from the crowd. First, they worship the customer's reality, not the founder's idea. You can do that with a notebook. Second, they test for cash or commitment, not compliments. If a stranger will not risk small money or time, your idea is not real yet. Third, they use small failures to buy big clarity. A dead pilot that teaches you who is not your customer is profit. Fourth, they let enemies and price do the targeting. You do not need Facebook ads to find your person. You need a clear enemy and a price that speaks. Fifth, they never scale a guess. 1 street, 1 estate, 1 bank branch. Win there, then expand. If you are an entrepreneur, unemployed, underemployed, or on social security, this is where edge. You do not have Oando's capital. You have Oando's constraint. Constraint forces clarity. Your next step, this week. 1. Pick one pain you have seen in your area. 2. Fill the one-page customer test sheet. 3. Run a 7-day mini-test with a kill rule. 4. Tell me what happened. Do not build a website. Do not print flyers. Do not buy equipment. Find the customer first, before you go. If this 3-part series gave you a new way to see customers, you are exactly who I make videos for. Every week I break down African business case studies into steps you can use with zero budget. Subscribe to my YouTube channel right now so you do not miss the next one. How to price when your customers are broke, the Indomile and Dango playbook. Comment page win if you are filling the test sheet this week. I will reply with feedback on your answers. Stop building for everyone. Start testing for someone.